with this upcoming season, what I'm looking for Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson is to make Caleb Williams' life easier, to not make it too difficult, not run all these plays where Caleb Williams is dropping back like 7-step drops, dropping back, having to go through 1, 2, 3 progression before he's able to finally deliver the football. Like, we have to make it easier, just like with Jordan Love. We have to make it easier for Caleb, not have to have him think too much. Bears.
I don't know what to think about these dudes.
Let's go. Chicago Bears.
Another team I think had a pretty solid free agency class. But man, what I've been hearing out of the Commanders, I said Commanders. Work done corrupted me, got me thinking about that team all the time. Bears. And what I'm hearing from the Bears, beat camp people at the training camps, the clips. Man, it's a rough adjustment period. I'll say that much.
Yeah. So this is the depth chart for the Chicago Bears. You have Rome Odunze, who's back for a second season. Obviously, DJ Moore, Zacchaeus, they got him from Washington. Braxton Jones, Joe Thuney. They really upgraded this offensive line. It's actually pretty good now. Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, Darnell Wright that they drafted back in 23. And then you draft Colston Loveland. I like Colston Loveland. He's been a standout in camp so far. And then obviously Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, Roshan Johnson. Then defensively, you have Montez Sweat, Gervin Dexter Sr., Grady Jarrett that they brought. Yeah, Gervon, whatever. Grady Jarrett. And then you have TJ Edwards. You have Tremaine Edmonds. You have Tyreek Stevenson, who they still have starting in corner. And then you also have Jaquan Brisker. You have Kevin Byard, Jalen Johnson, who's an outstanding corner for them.
He's hurt?
I don't know. I guess he is hurt.
He got the injury designation on him. I wonder what's wrong with him.
Yeah, so that is the Bears starting team for the offense and the
non-football injury.
Yeah. So, what is your thoughts on the Chicago Bears this upcoming season?
The Bears did a good job addressing position of needs in the off season. They just have to make Caleb Williams the QB that he was projected to be coming into the league. And people say the Ben Johnson scheme is very difficult to learn, especially for a young QB. But I feel like if they just work diligently with him, I think Caleb should be able to adjust. Now, there's been a lot of bad clips floating around social media of him throwing picks, a lot of bad news coming out of the Commanders, the Chicago media saying how Caleb Williams isn't looking that good. He's not doing good in 11-on-11 periods. Joint practices, he's not performing well. But I still think there needs to be some grace given because last year he had to go through 2 different play callers. And then they weren't even, I want to say, during the Hard Knocks, like they weren't even like watching film with him, I think. He like this is all a really big adjustment. Like, I don't think I understand. He got drafted into dysfunction. So you got to give him, I know he's supposed to be this talented generational type prospect, blah, 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 but still, QB situations matter more than the player themselves. So until they can get something established, something concrete, I'm not going to judge him as harshly as probably everyone else is. I'm just not. And I know he has talent. He has DJ Moore. He has Coastal Love. They just drafted him. They got Rome Odunze. They drafted Luther Burden. I wonder how good he's been doing in camp. They got decent run game, but defense actually is pretty good for the most part. But I still cannot judge or write off Caleb Williams off of training camp stuff. You know, I just think that's kind of silly. I do expect this team. I do think they will come last in the division again. But it's not going to be like a disaster like last year was, where they won like 3 games and then just like lost like 8 straight or something crazy like that. So I do think Ben Johnson is going to lay the foundations this year. And then next year, we can really fully get into expectations for this team, and in terms of them being contenders or wanting to contend.
Yeah, I think this team, it boils down to the development of Caleb Williams at the end of the day. I believe if he plays well, then that's a home run for the season. If he doesn't play well, then everything that the Bears tried to do was for nothing, really. Like, it doesn't matter if the defense is good, it doesn't matter if the run game is good. If Caleb Williams isn't good, then that's a major problem. Look, let me show you something real quick. I have, just like with Jordan Love, I have some stats that I want to show you. The same stats as well when it came to Caleb Williams. So let me share my screen real quick. So here we go. Just like with Jordan Love last year, there's context behind these stats, but in terms of bad throws, Caleb Williams was 34th on bad throw percentage. And then when we look at target percentage, Caleb Williams was 30th. So there's
Not
context.
ideal.
There's context behind this. One, the offensive scheme was not ideal for Caleb Williams. He had to sit back in the pocket a lot of times, and it took a long time to get through his progressions, and the offensive line wasn't the greatest. But at the same time, he needed to work better. At times, he just wasn't accurate enough. And I want to show you something else. I'll show you a little bit later. But the wide receivers were catching balls. Like, they weren't dropping passes. So a lot of times it was just on him. He just wasn't putting the ball in the correct space. He wasn't being accurate enough. And it showed itself on film. It showed itself throughout the season. And that's why they weren't able to get the offense going as much as they should have with the weapons they had on the field. So
It's
with this
really
season,
Shane Waldron.
yeah, Shane Waldron, I mentioned part of that is because of Shane Waldron. So with this season, with this upcoming season, what I'm looking for Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson is to make Caleb Williams' life easier, to not make it too difficult, not run all these plays where Caleb Williams is dropping back like 7-step drops, dropping back, having to go through 1, 2, 3 progression before he's able to finally deliver the football. Like, we have to make it easier, just like with Jordan Love. We have to make it easier for Caleb, not have to have him think too much. One read, 3-step drop, deliver the football, quick passes. Stop trying to make it to where Caleb Williams is, oh, he's this generational QB, so we can just throw the entire playbook onto him and we can develop these complex plays that he's supposed to run and he's going to master on the fly. Like, no, let's take our time. And then once he gets through this portion of the playbook, then we can start getting to the other portion of the playbook and we can start having him run that stuff because he has developed over time. So like you mentioned, it's going to be a process. Let him progress, let him get comfortable with these certain number of plays, and then we can go to the other more complex, more just methodical type plays that's going to require him to think even more. That's what I hope I don't hope them to do, but that's what the Bears need to do if they want to develop Caleb Williams into a good quarterback.
What people don't understand about Caleb Williams, and he's a local guy, so I was able to talk around people who covered like the high school scene around here and get some perspective on how he was as a player in high school. Caleb Williams, since high school, has always been the offense. Like, he was the offense at Gonzaga in DC, and they didn't really do much developing there. Like, he was just out there out talenting dudes. He was making crazy throws, all type of stuff. In college, same thing. Lincoln Riley, as far as a QB guru he is, he ain't really teach him how to play the position. He was just out there telling them, hey, go make a play. And as we've seen, people were saying this is going to be hard to translate to the NFL because NFL is more structured. You need to be on schedule more. You need to be able to read the defense properly and adjust the coverages and looks they give you, and being able to be like, hey, this receiver is going to be here at this time. You need to hit him. We're not doing all this running around trying to look for the big play every time. We need you to take the layups too. So that, and then last year, Shane Waldron ain't really do much implementing that either. Them play calls was garbage. So this is really his first year with a coordinator and a play caller that's going to challenge him to play within a system instead of being the system of the team.
Playing more in structure, playing more on timing, ball placement, those type of things. When you mentioned Lincoln Riley, you got to remember, like, he was in an air raid offense. Like, air raid offense is
Yep.
very simple, not too complex. So he's going to be very comfortable in an air raid offense. While now you're in the NFL, more pro style offense, it's a lot more that goes into that offense and ball placement and timing and different things. It's a lot bigger in terms of the playbook and the plays and stuff that you have to remember.
The calls
So,
and signals and all that. Yeah.
so
Adjustment at the line.
right. So he's gonna be tested a lot this year. And will he prevail or will he fail remains to be seen. But just what I've been hearing so far during camp, just like with JJ McCarthy to a certain extent, where there will be some days where he's struggling, there will be some days where he's all right. Like right now, just recently, I've heard he played pretty well in training camp. So it's a mixed bag with Caleb Williams right now. I don't believe he's going to be bad this year. I believe he'll show instances of brilliance. He'll show a lot of his talent, but then there will be moments where the offense looks pedestrian. It looks lethargic. It looks like they don't know what they're doing on the field. So it's all about progression at the end of the day. I just think this is a year where the expectations should be low for the Bears. Just hope that Caleb Williams can develop as a good quarterback because, like I've heard from a lot of NFL analysts, he's pretty much back to stage one again because this is a
Yep.
whole new system, a whole new way of thinking football, and he didn't really learn much last year from the previous regime. So now he's back to stage one again. Hopefully, he can learn and he can progress instead of resorting back to the same old flaws that he was doing the previous season. So that's really what I'm looking at with the Bears.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, it's a lay the foundation type year. I wouldn't expect them to win more than 7 games, honestly.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Nick Wright, you're part of the problem when it comes to Caleb Williams. You put a lot of expectations, a lot of these big expectations on Caleb Williams, talking about by the end of the season he'll be the best quarterback in the NFC North. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. That's too big of an expectation for Caleb Williams. Let's just hope he gets better. Let's just hope that he improves and shows that he's a starting caliber QB that's worth the number one pick. He doesn't have to be freaking Jaden Daniels rookie year to be considered a good quarterback. Let's
Exactly.
let's lower the expectations, all right? Because Nick Wright, he's one of those dudes that when he falls in love with the quarterback, he's going to put all these expectations on him. Let's temper our expectations. Let's just hope that he progresses, that he gets better, and that he looks like a starting caliber quarterback. And we don't have to worry about drafting another quarterback next season.